I am a massive fan of Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones ended, regardless of what George.R.R. Martin wants us to believe, who continues 10 years after his last book to act as though he's going to finish the story. The latest story from Outkick.com, George.R.R. Martin says he is behind, way behind. He's been behind for years. And I'm going to say something that not every Game of Thrones fan of his work wants to hear, but they need to hear it. We don't need George Martin's ending. He allowed his vision and his story to end with other writers holding the pen for HBO. That's it. It's over. Just admit that you're not going to find the time to finish the story. George.R.R. Martin, now your watch has ended. Move on to the next HBO series, please. That's my primary complaint.
I have a thought here on George. I'm not a middle name guy, as you know. I do not have a middle name. My name is Paul Kuharski. Now, I understand the importance of middle names for many people. My son was given a middle name. But two? No. And double initials I'm against. It's George.R.R. Now, I hate people that have a single initial and a middle name. T. Stephen. I knew a guy named T. Stephen. I hate that.
F. Scott.
But yeah, well, F. Scott, he made it work out of his fame. Course. He is George Raymond Richard Martin. Now, I could even handle that more, but
George
the George.R.R.
Martin.
George.R.R. drives me crazy. And this pompous ass who wants to reclaim the ending of his story with dragons, ooh, dragons, and shot in the dark, apparently, from what I hear critics of the thing telling. I don't want to hear from him either, so I support your complaint, and I tack on onto your complaint, a complaint about R.R.
That was...
So is that your primary?
Very well done.
That's my complaint connected to your complaint.
May I complain now?
I don't know if I'm allowed to sneak
Let me start with a compliment. I love Chris Sims' analysis. I think he's a handsome man. I think he's a very good-looking guy, very fit guy. What I don't like is the trend in fashion that Chris Sims subscribes to. And that is this, and I'm going to show it to you now, and I'm going to tell you about it also. The buttoning the button up all the way to the top of the shirt is a ridiculous Poindexter-like look that Chris Sims insists on everything. I'm going to show you now what I look like with this. It looks terrible. Right now, also, I kind of look like I'm in Latin Kings, the way this shirt is, and the button up all the way to the top. I can't even do it with a straight face and keep it up there. Don't button your button up all the way to the top. You need to breathe a little bit. If you're wearing a tie, that's how you wear your button-up shirt. Hutton now is showing tribute. How you do it. Paul, I couldn't even do it longer than 5 seconds. Paul now has it buttoned all the way to the top. Don't do this. Chris Sims, good-looking guy, good football analyst, former pro quarterback. You look ridiculous when you button your shirt all the way to the top. It's a Poindexter-like move. Loosen that thing up. Let it breathe. Let the Adam's apple breathe a little bit. There's no need to go all the way to the top. This is a lesson for everyone out there. Do not button your button up all the way to the top unless you're wearing a tie underneath it. This is my primary complaint.
My primary complaint, listen, you guys know I hate meteorologists. They take themselves themselves far too seriously. You know what I hate more than meteorologists? Faux meteorologists. Last night, after I watched the Yankees win on a wild pitch and a walk,
yes,
I flipped over to MLB Network. On MLB Network, the Cincinnati Reds were playing at home. I can't even remember who they're playing against. It is pouring rain, a deluge, a monsoon. I've said this time and time again. I don't know why Major League Baseball insists on letting umpires continue games in these kind of conditions. Somebody is going to die. You have to have a grip on the baseball. And you cannot grip the baseball no matter how much you're hiding it with your gloves or the umpire's wiping it off. A pitcher is going to lose a ball, he's going to hit a guy in the face, and he's going to kill him. The pitcher was the Cincinnati pitcher gave up a go-ahead run. This was Arizona. Threw the ball back to the. He's stalling. He's losing the game. He wants his team to get up in the bottom of the 8th. He's asking for a new ball like 3 times. He clearly wants them to stop the game. It's awful. Okay? They finally pull the tarps out. The game ends up suspended. They're going to finish it tonight, except it wound up snowing in Cincinnati. They go back to the studio show, and Harold Reynolds claims that because he's from Oregon, he understands rain. And he says, if it rains hard like that, it's going to stop pretty quick. If it's drizzling, it goes on for a long time. Now, Harold, I don't know how it rains in Oregon, but I've lived in lots of parts of America. And here in Nashville, just recently, it rained like hell nonstop for 2 days. So I don't know where you get this thing that if it rains hard, it's going to stop quickly. Look at this jackass in front of a weather map like he knows what the bleep he's talking about. If it rains hard, Harold, there's a scenario where it continues to rain hard for a long time. I understand you've seen Caddyshack and you're hopeful it's going to stop and you can play through. But shut up.
And the snow behind it as well. I mean, I realized that they played opening day in Detroit. Was it Detroit?
In snow.
In snow?
Yeah, in snow.
But you can see the rain right over the top of Cincy.
If it rains hard, it's going to stop. That's the signal. If it's drizzling, it's going to go on.
Really funny way of saying it. Like, it's going to stop, guys. I promise. That's amazing. Well done.
And then it was good. He said, "Yeah, like I told you, it's going to stop. Let's go to Cincinnati," and then go to San Diego. And he's like really ready to tell you how. See, I told you. But there are guys warming up in the outfield in San Diego.
Well done.
Where the weather's perfect.